Welcome everyone to Let's Play Monster Rancher Advance for the Game Boy Advance. This is a really different kind of game. I thought I'd take a break from Pokemon to play another monster-related game. I'm more used to playing this on the PlayStation. I had Monster Rancher 2, which came out in the late 90s. There was even a TV show, from what I recall, that was pretty good. I used to watch it early in the morning. I think even before I went to high school, maybe like my freshman year it was on. So anyway, you start out with your usual RPG-ish kind of things. This is mostly an RPG. You'll see what it's all about if you're not familiar with it. Pretty much you're a guy that's come in control of a monster ranch. Much like the guy in Harvest Moon inherits a farm, you have a monster ranch. And there are a couple people with you that will meet very soon, and the idea is that you raise up a monster and you go through the ranks of a fighting bracket system, and try to make a ranch the most popular ranch for monster breeding and raising there is. So here's the first look at our ranch. We meet this chick whose name I've already forgotten. Aroma, that's her name, and this is this guy with the glasses, Zest. And they're brother and sister, and they're supposed to help you out throughout the course of all this, but you're kind of the silent protagonist, as you are in a lot of games, so you really don't do a lot of interaction with them. They interact with one another, which creates for some very, honestly, awkward kind of dialogues back and forth. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So first of all, these guys are explaining to us the basics of the game. When she says that, we don't have to explain everything. So we'll figure it all out mostly for ourselves. What makes this game really cool, as you'll see here, as we're about to actually start to get into control, is how you get the monsters. In the PlayStation version, it was awesome because you take the CD out of the PlayStation and you put a music CD into it, and that CD would generate a monster. And so you would go through like all your hundreds of music CDs and try to find a monster that you really liked. Since you can't do that with the Game Boy Advance, so their way around that is to use a letter system. And when you start out, you can only put in 4 letters, but just make words or whatever, put in a bunch of weird random things, and just try to make a monster that you're going to enjoy using, you think. Preferably, I would suggest starting with something that's got a lot of power and accuracy, or power and defense. You'll see here, I really didn't think of anything off the top of my head. I also forgot how many letters I could put in, even though he tells you. So I just hit G a bunch of times and ended it. And then we start to generate our monster. And it goes through this little process, just as the PlayStation version does, and we get this guy, Ragnarok, number 420. Oh yeah. He calls him a stylish monster. He'll refer to monsters differently. Like, that's a stylish one, that's a powerful one, that's a smart-looking one. Stylish generally means that they're just a mix, as is the case with this guy. As for a name, I just stuck with Ragnarok, not like my Pokemon LP where I'm just giving them random names. The names are already strange enough here, I figure. So we got our starting monster, and now we can go back to our ranch, and then we can finally start training him. The way that the training works is, as you can see in the top left there, the year starts at 1, the year is 1. You have 4 weeks in each month, and it takes 1 week to train them. This is how you can train them. As you can see here, you can increase some of their stats massively while decreasing some of them by a little bit. You can rest, which will let your monster rest, which you need to do every few weeks so that he doesn't get burnt out. And special is a place you can go when you start to accumulate some money, and you'll be able to have them train in a specific attribute, like strength or speed or accuracy. We'll go through that, different attributes, once we get to them. But right now I'm just showing you guys the basic menus of the game. Got our first monster going. It's pretty expensive to do this. It's 3,000 gold. You start with 5,000 gold, so you don't want to do this right off the bat. And here's a battle schedule rather. This shows you when the tournaments are held. Where start off in the D rank, and then when you beat this one, the AGIMA official D rank, then you move up to the C rank. You also see loyalty there on the bottom. That goes up pretty fast. It's not a big deal, but your monster will kind of falter in combat if the loyalty is too low, as you'll see when we actually get into a real battle. And that is pretty much going to do it for that. Look again at the training. There's accuracy, there's power. Accuracy is the chance, of course, of your move hitting. I guess we're going to do power training real quick here, and this is how a training regimen goes. Yeah, he does something like this. You can just hit the A button and skip through it. Here was a success. The power goes up by 4. As your monster gets older, he'll start to get more power because he'll just come into the prime of his life, if you will. There's also a chance you could lose in the training. That doesn't happen super often, but in the beginning of the game it does. These are some particular traits of him, and here are the parameters. You'll always look at this screen. You have power, intellect, accuracy, speed, defense, and life. And these are the moves that he has when he gets into combat. He has these, and you can switch them out, or you can hit the B button, and a different set of them will replace the set that you have currently selected. You're probably not going to use that, though. There's a look at my record as a trainer, which of course is 0 right now, and this book just shows you there's the stats of the monster again. So that's going to do it for this part, and we'll talk back with you guys later on when we start to do some training finally, get some battles in. We'll see you for part 2.